In this video, I'm going to show you how to consistently get ahead of 90% of the world's population by optimizing your life around something I call the power pyramid, right? And the power pyramid are essentially a segment of different things in your life that you need to optimize in order for you to function at the highest capacity from your body, the energy that you produce, like mentally, all of that. And I'll share with you guys some tips and some of the things and the resources that I use to track and analyze my whole entire body, even from like my brain perspective, right? So the power pyramid is what I'm going to talk about, right? So get this, 1/3 of the US population is sleep deprived, right? And see, this is something that a lot of adults kind of put aside, right? They don't really pay too much attention to it. But you see, the lack of sleep just really messes up everything in your life, from your ability to focus, from your ability to function optimally, right? You know, what's crazy is that a lot of accidents are caused not by like drunk driving or anything else, but by a lack of sleep, right? Sleep deprivation, right? You're just not performing as you need to when you're not getting enough sleep, right? So 1/3 of the US population are under here, right? And so sleep is something that I put a lot of attention on, right? I use something called Whoop, right? Something that is widely used by a lot of high performers and high achievers to track their level of sleep, right? From their deep sleep to their, just all of these things you can track. And in the morning you can wake up and go, so how did I sleep? Okay, what can I optimize? What can I change to adjust my sleeping so I can sleep better? Because if I sleep better, I have more energy in the morning to do the things that I need to do. Whether if you have kids or whether if you're gonna do any form of physical activity, it just allows you, it gives you the energy to be able to do that when you focus on your sleep, when you optimize your sleep, right? And if you're somebody who struggles with sleeping, you can take magnesium. Magnesium is a good tool, supplement that you can use to enhance your sleep, right? And even before, sometimes I also take herbal tea, right? I drink tea before I go to bed. It helps with my overall level of sleep. I sleep more soundly. I wake up extremely energized, and so I can perform and do the activities that I need to do, right? So for me, this is one of the most important things that you would need to optimize on this whole entire list, right? Moving down the pyramid, right, is your diet, right? Guys, I don't think I need to say, but like specifically in the US, the majority of the US population is overweight, right? And I don't mean to offend some of you guys, but fat to a large degree, right? That is because we just overly consume food. We digest and ingest things that are not good for our body, and so therefore it just ruins our ability to perform, right? It destroys our energy level, right? It just messes up our life. Like, nobody wants to walk around looking overweight or with just like extra fat hanging around them, right? Because it messes up with your identity, right? The way that you look at yourself, the way that people look at you, and people will judge you, right? If you're extremely overweight and you walk on the street, people will look at you differently, right? When you're somebody that's physically fit, the amount of respect that you get from other individuals is extreme, and so you just walk more confident. Like, I can't say enough how important your diet is, because again, if you eat the wrong diet, not even from a lack of energy that you will get, but like it just ruins your gut, right? And you don't feel good, right? So your diet is extremely important, right? As part of my diet, me personally, I don't do any drugs, no drugs, right? And I stay away from alcohol as much as I can. I'll drink probably a glass of wine or two once or twice every quarter, right? But as much as I can, I stay away from alcohol, because alcohol, it messes up obviously with your ability to think, right? And also messes up with your digestive system as well, right? Alcohol is good to some degree, like when it's like in a social environment, as long as you're not consuming a whole lot of it. So once you start consuming, like, you know, an exorbitant amount of it, you start to get, it's not for you. Because me personally, it's like, if I drink alcohol today, it's gonna take me like a couple of days for me to recover, right? For that thing to get out of my system. And so it just prevents me from being able to function at full capacity, right? And if you're somebody that's trying to be a high performer, you say you have these massive targets that you're trying to achieve, this is things that you have to optimize for. You can't put these toxics in your body, right? And so in addition to that, like, no processed food. Stay away from processed foods, because you don't know what I put into those food. And the minute that you try to digest that, right, you start to have heart problems. You start to have all these type of different diseases. Now, moving on to exercise, right? You get energy from exercise. You wake up in the morning, you go to the gym, that sets up your whole entire day. When you've done your exercise in the morning, the amount of energy that you gain from that is astronomical. And it just allows you to perform significantly better throughout the whole entire day, right? Exercise is something that's become more and more relevant today. A lot more people are trying to get fit, right? You can see like personal trainers and things within that scope are like booming because now people want to get fit because they know and they now understand the importance of it, right? So it's like upon you have to exercise, right? You have to find a way to exercise first thing in the morning, right? That's typically when I exercise. Some people like to exercise like in the later afternoon, in the later evening. See, the reason why, unless you have really like, you're somebody that has a high degree of focus and a high degree of mental resilience, then yeah, you can probably exercise because you do the things that you said you're gonna do. But some people don't, and so typically, if you're somebody that thinks that they like to exercise in the evening, it's going to be hard because at the end of the day, you're typically going to be extremely tired. So to drive up the mental capacity, the mental energy to go to the gym is going to be significantly harder. If you just do it in the morning, you just get it out of the way. You just get it out of the way and like you just feel good throughout the whole day, right? So exercise is something that I'm rigorous and like just very, very bullish on. Your environment. This is another big one. There's multiple things that I can say in regards to the environment, but some of the things that people don't pay too much attention to, right, is how like the lighting, like in your work setting, right? If you're an entrepreneur, you don't even have to be in your entrepreneur, right? Your work setting is very important, right? So within my work setting, I like to make sure that it smells good. The things that I look around, it's nice, right? I like to make sure that I have good lighting in my environment. All of those micro adjustment and micro things are things that overall just help me continue to work, stay motivated, right? Because imagine if you're working in a dark room, no sunlight, and it smells like shit, like you're not gonna be very motivated to work. You're not going to be very motivated to work. And if you look around your environment, it's just trash. It's like you're not going to be very motivated to work. Your environment is like your physical environment is very important. From even like the people that you're working around is very, very, very important. The next thing I want to go on is focus. Focus is something that we all lack, especially with the rise of social media, where we find it significantly harder to focus on tasks. You know, we work for like a small amount of time and then we get distracted, right? And so like, how can we ever get anything done? Especially if you're somebody that's building something, how can you get anything done if it's hard, if you can't focus? How can you get any forms of ideas flowing if it's hard for you to focus, right? So focus, your ability to focus is a very important thing. You have to protect your focus, right? Typically when I'm working, I put my phone away from my work environment. Because imagine you're working, you're typing something, you're working on a project, boom, your phone rings, boom. You take your phone, you pick it up, you look it down, you put it back, right? You get back to work, and then it happens again. And so every time, you do that, there's a residue of the things that you leave on your phone, right? And so like for you to try to get back on the task that you're doing and the project that you're doing, it will require to essentially like reset. Okay, like what was I doing again? What was I thinking? What was I doing? So it's very important that as you're working, you put your phone like just far away from home, like in a separate room or something like that, lock it up in a box, because our phones are very distracting to us, right? And again, every time you pick up your phone to look at whatever it is that you're consuming on social media or a message, whatever, a residue of that is carried with you when you're trying to go back and focus on work. Now we're going to talk about tools. The tools that you use are essential to help you propel, right? Simple tools can be like even like your calendar, like the PC that you work on, even like the mouse that you're using. These are micro things that you probably think about like, okay, like why is he talking about your schedule or a PC, or even just like your typing speed or your mouse? Because those are tools that you use to enhance your ability to get work done faster, right? And there's research around this. There's research about making sure that if you can increase your typing speed, just imagine how much more work that you can do, right? If you can increase the speed of your mouse, again, these are things that I found important for the work that I do, but you have to find the things that are important for you and the tools that you think will help you propel and just get work done significantly faster. The goal for you is to identify what are the tools that I need to use to help me increase or enhance my productivity, which is very important, and just my overall workflow, right? Guys, I call this the power pyramid. When you can optimize your sleep, your diet, the exercise, your environment, your focus, and your tool, you become a superhuman. You start to be able to do things significantly faster and more than 90% of the population. right? When you're able to optimize all these things, because these things are crucially important, right? And when you study some of the most successful people, these are all things that they talk about, that they optimize, and they constantly work on improving. Because without them improving this, it's hard to be able to build a company. It's hard to be able to get promoted in a job if you're not able to exceed at the work that you're doing. But first, you have to optimize your sleep, optimize your diet, exercise, environment, focus, and the tools. The power pyramid, guys. I hope this is helpful to you, guys. If you guys can, again, just focus on these things and improving the things, your life gets significantly better, right? If you made it this far in this video, leave a thumbs up. If you have any question at all, leave them in the comments, and please follow and subscribe to the channel. Talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.